My name is Susan Sledge. I work in career services and employer relations over in Jarvis Hall. And the reason that I'm very passionate about this topic is because my job is to go out and talk to employers and find out what employers want and to try to position our students to get the jobs ahead of other schools. That's what I do. And when I talk to employers, it's really interesting the feedback that we get. And one of the colleges that I work with is the College of Communication. And as you can imagine, the ad PR firms have said for a long time, I want to see a portfolio of your work. And fine arts and the creative majors, that's very common because they don't really believe you until you prove it, they can see it. What's interesting though, is in the more technical fields and the analytical jobs, they're wanting to see proof as well. So we're starting to see, please send me your cover letter, your resume, and your portfolio. Now this is a Susan Sledge prediction, so it probably doesn't mean a thing. But I believe in about 5 years, a portfolio is going to be the norm. A resume is going to be something that's going to help you organize your information, and it's going to help you build this. But you have about a 2-year window here where no matter what your major is, you could position yourself to be much more competitive and to stand out in the marketplace, in the employment marketplace. So if I had to say there's one thing that you should do to look for a job, or even after you get your first job, to start working on, it would be this. Because you need a body of work samples, and you need to brand yourself in a way that can speak to your audience, and it's the career that you're going to choose. All right? To get started, why don't I just show you my own portfolio. I started thinking about this because I wondered, how could I possibly tell you to have a portfolio if I don't have one and don't even know what it is, honestly, when I started this. And the hardest part is getting ready to do your portfolio. So trust me, we're going to talk a lot about that, and you may be in the back of your mind saying, okay, great, but how do I do it? We'll get to the how-tos, but getting prepared for it took me about 2 to 3 months of just collecting information. If you get as old as I am, it's hard to find those artifacts from all the jobs that I've had. And it's so much better if you can think about this ahead of time. And so collecting the information is kind of the first step, and then creating one. Actually, creating the one that I showed you took me 2 hours and 10 minutes. I timed it, just to give you a reference. Okay? I use Wix, which is a blog builder. It's free. I use the free account. You can upgrade, but this is just a sample of what you can do with a free one. I hate to have my picture taken. My family knows that our scrapbooks for 10 years do not have my picture in it. It has everybody else's. You can use your picture in your portfolio if you want to, but you don't have to. You can use, there's other ways that you can accomplish it. But I found it a really easy way to get a visual very quickly and make it friendly and warm. I just branded myself as an innovative collaborator because through my career, that's what I've done, is usually pull together different departments and help them cast a vision and help them go towards that. I feel like these are the 3 areas of my career that I could highlight. And if you were to click on manager, I'm going to give you proof of ways that I've been a manager in my career. There are links built in to get you to the other 2 that you saw on the front screen. I am an entrepreneur. I've had my own business and patented a product and took it to market. So that's a big piece of my career, but not only for my own company, I do entrepreneurial type things for TCU and for Waste Management, a company I used to work for. As a communicator, which if you don't already know by now, is the #1 skill that employers want, you need to say that you're a communicator. No matter what. So put that on, if you're writing that down, put that word down. I can write. Here's some samples of how I can write. I have mentored people. I have done sales. And I've been a negotiator. So these are just aspects of my career that I want somebody to see. This is back to the home page. I want to show you also on the bottom, on every page, it has just a consistent bar that shows you how to get a hold of me. Also my Facebook and my LinkedIn accounts. Across the top is a bar of menus, and my resume is 1 page. And then I broke out each area of my resume into sub-pages. So this is, like if you took my resume, this is just the wording off of my resume, but you can indulge in this format. So even though if you had trouble getting your resume to one page, and you will after you work, after your first job, it's going to be harder and harder to do that. So don't worry about it. You're going to get more and more information that you can put in. And this is a really good way to elaborate on some of your experience. Okay? Also with my resume page, I have the ability to print one. So if I click here, it brings up a PDF for them to print. If you do any speaking, you'll create a biography that they can print and that they can have. This is a contacts page. It just sends me an email. And this is a sample of some work. So I gave a writing sample. This is a proposal that I wrote here at TCU. This is a video of an interview that was with 360. And this is a student workshop that they videoed, and I asked for a clip to put in here. So that gives you an idea of what a portfolio is about and what I'm thinking when I say portfolio. The thing that makes you unique is you. You have got to be able to tell your story. Okay? That's branding. Telling your story. What makes you you. And I just would like to encourage you to think outside the box and be unique. That is very much valued, and even in the last few years, I think it's become more and more valued in the workplace. You can take some more risks that you couldn't take 10 or 15 years ago. I think 10 or 15 years ago, they really wanted you to be a little bit more cookie cutter and had an expectation. But thank goodness, your generation has broken that mold. And so you're starting to condition them to accept me and do I fit in your culture. So do tell your story and what you're about and your passions. So start to think along those lines. What would be your image? What is your area of expertise? Or what do you want your area of expertise to be? And if you can't really nail that down to one central focus, you can have 2 sites. You can have or two versions. You can have 2 pages. You know, so if you really don't get stuck if you're having a hard time with that, just start. You know, it's like driving a car and you're sitting in a parking lot. Have you ever tried to turn the wheel? It's so hard if you're parked to turn the wheel. But if you'll just press the gas and go a little bit, it turns easy. That's how this is. Just get started. It doesn't have to be perfect before you start. Just at least, you know, move forward a little bit.